Well, hello and welcome to my review on Gemmy Industries' most expensive inflatable ever, the 20-foot tall Christmas tree Archway. This massive inflatable retails for a whopping $500 or $499.99, and the one store daring enough to set such a price would be none other than At Home. At Home is no stranger to expensive inflatables, as last year they had a $350 snowman family. However, this year they went beyond what any Gemmy Airblown had ever commercially sold for. I purchased this at 30% off, conveniently discounted to exactly the same retail as that other breathtaking design. My total came out to a little over $300, factoring in an additional discount, and today we're here to learn what price this is truly worth paying for. Features include 8 LED C7s, 1 giant and 3 normal presents with Santa, the snow-capped tree to put everything under, all combined to create a monstrous entry point able to conceal your own home. Now the box is a story unto itself, as it is very large, case in point taking up the majority of my 4Runner's trunk space. It measures a good 2 feet in length, 20 inches deep yet only a foot high. This box is also the first in recent years to have a fold instead of pull tabs, so couple that with its flatter configuration. A noticeable curve tells me it's a snug fit. You then have your comparison for scale, and finally the 2023 Gemmy Industries mark off to the side. At Home's pricing for this product is a first for Gemmy and also a first for us, so let's find out just how inflated it is beginning now. Equipped with a single YEF 125, we're not off to a strong start, as most collectors were expecting 2 fans or at least a YEF 200 based on its exorbitant retail. It does, however, come with one of the most extensive stake packs I've seen of late, with 4 colossal plastic stakes and ropes, 8 giant spiral stakes, and somehow the basic metal ones for the fan. I'll complain about these stakes until Gemmy stops using them, but especially for a $500 design, we deserve the thick U-shaped stakes that were once provided on every colossal inflatable. If you're familiar with the channel, you'll know I'm not really a fan of these giant spiral stakes either, but I do love the colossal plastic ones, as I've used a few extra I had laying around to anchor this down. There are a total of 8 tether points just at the bottom, evenly distributed with 4 on each side, but for now, what we've all been waiting for, let's plug in this mammoth and see what we got. Taking 3.5 minutes to inflate, to my recollection, it goes up a bit quicker than the Snowman family, as I think that's probably the most appropriate inflatable to compare this to. Something that Snowman family had going for it was, while it didn't want to explode, it still felt really full and tight. It's not to say that this doesn't also inflate really well, but it's definitely not to that standard. To start off, we have 3 smaller presents in Santa Claus at the base, all of which help create the scene before us, but are there just as much for stabilization as they are for looks. Height-wise, a 20-foot archway has never been done before, and I think the Gemmy designers had to put in some real thought when it came to balancing what they had in mind with what was actually practical, and to be honest, I think this works. You could say it's odd having a present be taller than the person who supposedly brought them, however, the squarish shape probably made it easy to convert into a walkthrough, so one can understand if I'm correct in their design process. Upon entering the archway, or arguably tunnel, you're met with a whole lot of red, but no lights or sound, and it's without a doubt my biggest complaint when factoring in the original $500 price tag, other than us getting a lone YEF 125. Speaking of the fan, there's a pretty large zipper right above it, in addition to the one on the opposite side of the arch, and then our third and final that belongs up top, actually mimicking the curvature stitching of the tree. Now the lighting is certainly the Achilles heel of this inflatable, once again to reference the Snowman family, which had 10 C7s. This only has 8, and as you'll see later, has 2 critical spots missing illumination, the star and the present behind Santa. I do feel this is an extremely cool concept, but there's a part of me that wishes they made the tree on its own, meaning no archway, just a fleshed out Times Square style tree that was stable and would put the existing 20-foot tree to shame. By serving as an archway, it's advertised to be used right in front of your porch for guests and family to experience, though it's so big your landscaping and walkout have to be a specific style for that to work, so generally it's better suited for the yard. Per the At Home website, it's said to be roughly 7.5 feet front to back, spanning 15.5 feet wide, with 6 of those for walking space underneath, and a 6.5 foot clearance height. After having this inflatable up and being able to enjoy it for a little bit, I don't think anyone is surprised when I say this is in no way worth $500, but more worth $349, as there aren't any design features to constitute anything steeper. I and a few other collectors believe this was simply an experiment for at home and or Gemmy. Would people spend half a grand on an in-store inflatable? Because if they don't, we'll mark it down to what it should be anyway. It's kind of my take on the whole ordeal. Ever since we got a glimpse of this back in September, I knew then and there I wanted it, but was never going to cave to such a price, leaving me with no choice but to wait out what was inevitably going to go on sale, and here we are. So I'm happy with my purchase. Not a lot of time left to get one as they are starting to sell quickly now, but if your store has it, hopefully after watching this review, you can feel good about a decision either way. Until next time, I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.